What's going on, guys? John Fibonacci here. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to my video, Final Hour Finesse. If you want to learn how to scalp the indices on an intraday basis, watch this video all the way to the end so you get the most amount of value. What I'm going to do is share some tools with you on how I'm able to get entries like this. See how we're entering right here, almost near the high? I want to show you exactly how to do that, so keep watching. If you've never seen my chart watermarks, I highly suggest you pause the video and check some of them out. I've only got two here, but the one at the top is the most important. What does it say? It's been there on every live session that you've seen this year or in most of the previous videos, but right up here at the top, it says time, price, and context. So again, that's been staring at you in the face in all of the videos and all of the live sessions. So what does that actually mean? Time, price, and context. Well, time is going to be the most important thing, especially when it comes to scalps or day trading, and especially for this video. The very title of this video is Final Hour Finesse. So it's no secret. What we're going to be looking at is the final hour. So the final hour of the New York Stock Exchange is 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, I'm from Houston, Texas. So my chart is in CST, which is Central Time. So I'm going to be 1 hour prior to this. So in my charts, instead of 3 to 4 p.m., you're going to see 2 to 3 p.m. But whatever time zone you're in, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is going to be the final hour of the stock exchange. And yes, it really is that simple. It's just a time block of 60 minutes. So what I'm going to do is simply draw two vertical lines at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and this is going to delineate the final hour. Now, the thing about the final hour is a lot of the times, not every day, but a lot of the times you can see reversal patterns in this final hour. So again, if we come back to the watermark up here, time, price, and context, this is the formula, okay? So some of the banger trades that you've seen on Twitter, Facebook, and other social media, especially Instagram as well, that I've shared these sniper entries, right? How do you get those? Well, it comes from combining the three: time, price, and context. So context is the hardest for a lot of traders to understand because a lot of it is going to be theory based, but the more that you study, the more you're going to understand context. So for example, in Friday's trade, okay, now, I did take this on a demo account, full disclosure, it was a paper trade. This is ES on a 5-minute time frame, and this chart specifically is Friday, November 3rd, 2023. But check this out. About 10 minutes before the final hour starts, you can clearly see on the chart what the day has been. It's been bullish. We keep seeing higher highs and higher lows. And a lot of traders would look at this and identify this as an uptrend, correct? But what is the context behind a potential reversal idea? Well, think about it. If you were long from the morning, or you were long at this low right here, or even this low right here, or even some of these lows in here, and the market's trading higher, when the market does go your direction, what do a lot of traders do? What do a lot of bots do with stop losses? They go from a previous low and they get dragged higher, right? So think about it. If there's a stop loss, let's say at this low down here, okay, trailing stop loss. Well, if the market is making a new high, what are these bots and what are traders doing with that stop loss? Well, they're not going to keep it down here. They're going to want to lock in some gains and protect from risk. So they're going to drag it up to probably this low or one of these in here, depending on which time frame they're looking at. But generally, when you have this, you have multiple lows here. There's usually going to be a cluster of liquidity right down here. And that is what is important when it comes to context. Okay. So if the day has been bullish, it's been rallying almost all day. Okay. On a Friday, that final hour is going to be important because, again, we can potentially expect a reversal if we get some more details, which I'm going to show you right now. So now that we've got our time window on here and that line that I drew here for trailing stops, we can see exactly what the market reached for. Right at the beginning of the final hour, we traded higher a little bit, broke down, rallied, and then continuation lower. Small little rally in here, just a retracement, only to go ultimately lower below all of these lows. Now, how can you anticipate that this is going to happen? Well, again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm not always looking for a reversal in the final hour. I don't trade the final hour every single day as well. I want to wait for high probability setups. And so Friday typically can be a good day for this final hour. But what we're going to do is drop down into the smaller time frames so we can get some context as to what was available to potentially trade. All right, so we've moved down to the 1 minute time frame so we can get a little bit more details than the 5 minute. So what actually takes place? If you're someone who likes market structure, that's fine. You can look at some of these lows. You have a low right here, a couple more on the way up, and then you have a very important low right here. What makes this one important? Because you have a low and then you have its last and final higher high. Now I'm going to show you why this is the highest high and why the high was set in that final hour in just a minute. But let me explain to you the opportunities again in this final hour. This structure here, right there, is traded through at 212. So about 12 minutes into the final hour, it has broken structure. It has market shift, if you will. Oops, it's this low right here. Okay. So now the market has shifted from bullish price delivery now to bearish price delivery. Okay. So with this breakdown, what is the formation you see right in here? Well, the way that I look at it is a high. These are actually triple highs, but we'll just pick one of them. A high, or the highest body right here. You have a high, a low, and then a higher high, and then a lower low. Okay. So how I look at this is a mitigation. Okay. The context here is mitigation. So what that means is anyone who has been long, who has overstayed their welcome. That's how I put it. They've overstayed their welcome. It means they've been in the market too long. They've held on for so long. It's been bullish. And now the market is getting ready to turn bearish. So this last movement here is an opportunity for those longs to exit. Again, before the market turns to go lower. So right here at 2:14, so 14 minutes into the last hour, that is an opportunity not to only exit previous long positions, or you could also short this market here. Or if you got in a little bit later, you have some up candles right there. Again, after the market shifted lower, because in bearish markets, up candles should be respected. So you see that right there as well. Not the greatest entry, but it's still an entry before the market happens to trade lower. Again, down to these price levels down in here, which is those trailing stops, remember? Right here. So what I'll do real quick is now I will show you the entries, or one entry. All right, so here's what the entry and the exits look like. You can see that I entered up here right inside that mitigation. Okay, so this candle right there at 2:14, as soon as it trades higher, I'm entering on that candle. You can see that I shorted with that red arrow right there. And then on the way lower, this new low, I exited. And then I just messed around and exited like one contract at a time when it was down here. And then right before the close, it finally traded lower and below those lows that we discussed earlier. So again, mitigation setup to trade lower. Now, this is also very low risk as well, because if you think about it, let's say 43.88, this high is 43.92 if we round up. So that's only about a 4-point risk on the S&P. So that's low risk, and our reward was, I think, down to 75. So 13 points of potential profit. So risking 4 points to make 13 points, not bad. Now, how do I know if this high has been set? Well, I never really know, but I do work in probabilities. Now, if we want to understand that this is potentially the high, what we're going to have to do is ring in the other indices. So what I'm going to do now is overlap our current ES chart with the Dow Jones chart, which is YM. All right, so what we've done is now overlap the Dow Jones. You can see that in this red pinkish line, and then we still have our ES in the candlesticks. So what we're going to do, this is called relative strength analysis, and there's two different things that you could really look at here, and I'll show you both of them. What you need to do is look at the highs and compare them with one another. So what I mean is look at this high on the S&P and look at this high on the S&P. This is a higher high, right? But now compare that high on Dow here and then compare Dow's high right here. Or if you want to line them up correctly, technically, you would probably use this one right here. So the Dow Jones is trading lower while the ES is trading higher. So that is a divergence. That is a signature in price, in my opinion, that tells me smart money is distributing above old highs. Otherwise, they should be both making lower highs, but they're not doing that. So Dow is trading lower, which means that is weakness, in my opinion. And the context would be the same for Dow Jones, meaning you have all of these lows down here, which the market should trade to, and they both do. Okay. So this is how I trust if the market has made its high on any particular index. But again, this example is ES. So with that higher high, to me, that's distribution. With Dow Jones trading lower, that to me is weakness. Now that is one of them. Now what's the other one? Well, if you didn't look at the morning highs, that's okay. Even if you looked at this small time frame here, the Dow Jones is trading lower from 152 down to 207. So this little small time window in there, the Dow Jones is lower. And at that same time, ES, the S&P, is higher. So in either way, whether it was a small time frame divergence or that higher one where we have the current PM session high taken, okay, in either sense, that to me signifies both that ES is in distribution and that Dow is weak. And then again, they both trade lower. So a lot of the times when you see a higher high on one of the indices, that to me is typically the one that comes back to mitigate. This to me, again, is a mitigation. And that's why I entered right there. And then you see me exiting on the way lower. So how do I know if the high or low has been set? I don't always know. Again, it's probabilities, but this to me signifies distribution. And so if we have a bullish day, it's been bullish all day, and then we're finally seeing signs of distribution, that to me could be a reversal. The market's only going to go up, right, until it's ready to go lower. And this right here is one of those signatures in price that I like to look for. All right, and here's the last thing I'll leave you with. The market really only does about 4 things. And one of them is that the market moves from liquidity to liquidity. So you can see that here. That previous high, we see the market trade up and above that, hitting that previous high liquidity and trading down to the lower level of liquidity. I mean, don't take my word for it. Look at the chart. Look at previous charts. That's what the market does. It moves from liquidity to liquidity. And check this out. That mitigation here, right there, is also that old high right there. Okay, so a little bit of confluence there. But again, I think the most important thing here is the time. Don't forget the 2 o'clock time window is right here. So right at the start of that final hour, you see that here. Distribute one more time and then break down a shift from bullish price delivery to bearish price delivery, and you see those signatures in price. Okay, so with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you got value, drop a like on it. As a growing channel, all of those things mean a lot. So if you could leave a comment as well, I would greatly appreciate that. So thanks again for being here. I will see you in the next video.